Hey, what's up, music fans and record collectors? Welcome back to Phantassie Roundabout. My name is Tim, coming at you once again from Berkeley, California. It's been a bit since I posted a video. My last one was a record crawl along Telegraph Avenue here in the Bay Area. That was a whole lot of fun to put together, but more fun than anything was engaging with everyone in the comments about just the history of record shopping in the Bay Area, specifically in the East Bay. I heard about all sorts of shops that I didn't really know about, like Rather Ripped, Leopold's, Odyssey, and the Old Tower Records here in Berkeley. So thank you everyone for watching, for commenting, and following along. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate it. Thank you. So I thought I would continue with the record crawl theme and highlight a trip that I recently made down to Southern California. I made my first ever trip to San Diego, and then made a return trip to Los Angeles, which I've been to numerous times. Of course, I packed in as many record stores as I could. I think I hit most of the stores in San Diego, and then, LA is huge, so I got in as much as I could there. So the trip started with a flight from San Francisco down to San Diego. We stayed in the neighborhood of North Park, very bustling neighborhood with cafes, bars, restaurants, and plenty of very, very tasty tacos. I think I visited 6 different record stores in San Diego: Folk Arts Rare Records, Vinyl Junkies, Reverie Room, Flimzy's, Normal Records, and Beatbox. So just east of North Park is the shop that I was most excited to check out, one that I'd heard most about, which is Folk Arts Rare Records. I believe they claim to be the oldest operating record store in California. They opened in 1967, not in this particular location, though you would be forgiven for thinking so, because it is absolutely packed. It is a real digger's paradise. It's just completely full of records. It kind of reminds me of down home music here in El Cerrito, or even Jerry's Records in Pittsburgh. Had a really good time just spending an hour or so. You could spend a whole day in there for sure. So I definitely didn't leave empty-handed. I've been on a real bossa nova kick, so I picked up Antonio Carlos Jobim's Stoneflower. This is a 1970 release on CTI. Beautiful recording from Van Gelder's studio in New Jersey. Just a perfect record. If you think you might be into bossa nova, but you're not sure, this is cheap enough. Just go pick it up. I found a real good copy for not much money, so been really enjoying it.
Trovador, maneira encore a luz da lua, toda a canção do seu amor.
So just south of the North Park neighborhood is the aptly named South Park. And down there is a place called Vinyl Junkies, which was another spot I was very interested to check out. I think they were established as like a roving mobile vinyl pop-up in 2012, and then opened this brick and mortar in 2017. It's really cool. It's 3 separate units. There's the proper record store on the street side, which is just your like combination of new and used records. And then they have like a digger's den behind that, which is just primarily used records. And they also have this like cheap heat tiki hut in the back. It's a lot of fun, just kind of digging through lots of different vibes. A lot of good records too. Had a hard time deciding what to walk out with, but I ended up just picking this Joel Andrews Private Press harp music. This is 1975, just like healing, tranquil, relaxation, meditation music. And the back here, you see a picture of Joel Andrews with his harp, and it says, "Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth." So that sounds pretty good. Maybe not the power part, but yeah, just been enjoying kind of floating off to this one. So right across the street from Vinyl Junkies is a new shop, which is more of like a vintage clothing / record store combination called the Reverie Room. I don't know if it's really on everybody's radar, but the records there were fantastic. I don't know where they sourced all this stuff from, but there's a lot of really good stuff. I didn't end up picking up anything there. I didn't even take any footage because it's such a small space, but definitely go check it out. So if you head westward, clear across the massive Balboa Park, you will find yourself roughly in the Bankers Hill neighborhood. And up there is a shop that wasn't really even on my radar called Flimzy's. I unfortunately only got there about 10 minutes before they closed, so I didn't really have time to look, but it seems like a real decent shop. Good mix of new and used. I saw some real gems on the wall there. So if you happen to be in that side of town, definitely go check it out. But speaking of Flimzy, the main reason I was over there was to check out the Spruce Street pedestrian bridge, which is this like rickety suspension bridge that just crosses clear over this like massive gorge in the neighborhood there. Very cool. So going south from there, I went down to a shop in the East Village called Normal Records. They were established in 2016 and then moved to this location in 2019. It is a very small space, very tightly curated. I think they boast to be the best hip hop selection in town. Plenty of great records. I didn't pick up anything here, but again, it's well worth checking out if you're over there. And then further south from there in the Barrio Logan neighborhood, very eclectic, artsy neighborhood, is Beatbox Records. They were opened in 2015, and for my money, it's the best record store in San Diego. Just incredible. Had a lot of fun hanging out there. Really nice people, loads of crazy records that I just don't see very often. The sort of record shop that you just want in your own neighborhood for sure. I didn't go crazy there, but I did pick up this 1985 reissue of the Velvet Underground 1969 release, here with the black Verve label. I had like a mid 2000s reissue for a long time, but consider this one an upgrade. So obviously I'm not going to talk about this record much, but love it. So yeah, the next day went down to Old San Diego and caught the Amtrak Surfliner train that took me to Union Station in Los Angeles. Excellent trip right along the coast there. Absolutely beautiful. A real highlight of the excursion. I tend to situate myself in Highland Park there in Los Angeles. I just love the small town feel of it, full of just, again, great cafes, great bars, live music, restaurants, and again, incredible tacos. So while I was in LA, I checked out 8 separate record stores. Of course, there are plenty more. But getting around LA is a nightmare. I don't have a car, so I was just there for 2 days and did the best I could on public transit. So with that said, I did see Sibylline, Commune, Record Safari, Gimme Gimme, let's see, Avalon Vintage, on Maritime, Arroyo, and of course Amoeba Hollywood. Hitting up all the shops that I want to get to, it's like nearly impossible for the day and a half that I was there. I made the most of it, and that started with taking the public transit to Pasadena. There are a couple shops there that I really like. Sibylline being the first one I stopped into. This is I think they've been open for like 2 years or so, run by Shane Butler and Katie Schaffer of the band Olden Yolk and Quilt. It's really cool, like definitely a shop run by musicians, music fanatics. It's like definitely my kind of place. I'm always blown away every time I go there. This was no different. I picked up La Faille, which is a Ennio Morricone soundtrack to a 1975 Italian movie. Never seen the movie. But this is one of his better soundtracks. I've had plenty of Morricone compilations over the years, but I'm trying to filter those out and get the actual original soundtracks to songs that I particularly like. So really happy to find this one. So also in Pasadena is Commune Records. I believe they've been open for a bit longer, like since the mid 2010s or so. Really, really nice shop. Just very spacious, relaxing, lots of good stuff. I didn't happen to pick up anything this time, but it's, again, if you're in Pasadena, those two shops are absolutely top notch. So after those shops in Pasadena, I took a bus all the way to Atwater Village to check out Record Safari. Very well-known shop run by Alex Rodriguez, also named Record Safari. Very popular place. You can tell it's pretty popular. I've actually never walked out with anything there because it's like what they post on Instagram gets bought up like immediately. It's a great shop. I never find anything that I particularly want to get. And it kind of stinks just because that means that I didn't get to other shops. Like I didn't get to Permanent Records this time, and I kind of wish I'd popped down there. But anyway, Record Safari always worth a visit. So glad I made it. So back to Highland Park. There are a bunch of great record stores in that neighborhood. It's one of the main reasons I like to stay there. First up is Gimme Gimme Records, which was established back in the 90s in New York City. And then they moved to Highland Park in 2012, I believe, 2015, something like that. Incredible shop. You can definitely tell that they've been in the game for a long time. Well worth a stop. You will definitely not leave empty-handed there. There's always lots of great stuff. This time I picked up California band Tomorrow's Tulips. This is a record called When from 2015. Great slacker jams on this one. Good stuff. So around the corner from Gimme Gimme is another vintage clothing record shop combo called Avalon Vintage. They opened in 2013, but again, they've been around for a while. I believe the guy behind the records, Rodney Klein, had a record shop called Plastic Fantastic back in the day. Anyway, so there's a lot of great eclectic records to be found here, and it tends to be a little less picked over because a lot of foot traffic isn't really coming in looking for records. So I picked up a US stereo of Piper at the Gates of Dawn. I've just never had this record. I understand that the UK press is kind of the one to get because it has more and better songs on it. But either way, this is a classic. Good stuff. So yeah, around the corner from Avalon Vintage is on Maritime. And they opened in 2022, and then they have a newer location over on Melrose. Anyway, they are definitely like the source for like DJ stock dance music in LA. That seems to be like the place for it. They also have like a really robust jazz section, but I gotta say, I've been there multiple times over the years, and the jazz records are always absolutely trashed. I can't imagine they're moving them very quickly. You can see some of the footage here. Just some absolute classic records, but nothing that you can really listen to. And then up on York Boulevard is Arroyo Records, which apparently took over from an old permanent record space in 2020. This is just one of my favorites, along with Gimme Gimme Records. Just loads of great classic indie records. Really cool vibe in there. I didn't pick up anything this time, but well worth a stop. So no record trip to LA would seem complete without a stop at Amoeba Hollywood. I do miss their old location on Sunset. This location on Hollywood is a bit of a bummer, but still worth stopping into. My opinion, it's the least favorite of the three Amoebas behind Berkeley and San Francisco. That's not just a proximity bias. I just really think that Hollywood doesn't quite have the caliber as those other two shops, but you'll walk out with something for sure. I found it very appropriate to walk out with Julie Cruz Floating into the Night. Of course, this was music made very famous by Twin Peaks from David Lynch. This is a original Euro press, so not quite as fancy as the US press, but I love this record. So very happy to find this and float away to it. So that does it for my SoCal record crawl. Thank you so much for watching. I had a really good time hanging out in San Diego and Los Angeles. I would love to get down to LA with a car and spend more time. Lots of shops that I've never been to before that I would love to check out. So fingers crossed. But thank you again for watching. Thanks for following along. If you like this sort of thing, please consider subscribing. And I will hopefully catch you on the next one. Peace out.